What is sex addiction? The 3 signs and symptoms. Let's break it down. If you can't stop, and if you feel like a piece of you-know-what about it, and if you're hiding, lying, sneaking, especially if you're in a relationship, then this video is for you. I'm Craig Perra. I'm the founder of the Mindful Habit System, and for the past 13 years, my wife and I have coached thousands of high-performing men break free and stay free from compulsive sexual behavior. I've lived it. I almost lost everything, and I want to help you understand what's really going on because it's not what you think. What is sex addiction? Sex addiction, also called compulsive sexual behavior, hypersexuality, problematic sexual behavior, and a whole bunch of other names, and we'll talk about that in a second, is when your sexual behavior feels out of control. It's when it becomes a coping strategy and you don't have choice. And it's not about how much sex you're having. It's not just about frequency. You can have a high libido and not be a sex addict. It's how much it's hurting you. And before I define sex addiction, I invite you to broaden your definition from sex addiction to unhealthy sexuality. If you believe that your sexual energy is one of the most powerful forces in human nature, and if you believe with great power comes great responsibility, ask yourself, how are you honoring and respecting that power? Does it own you, or are you in charge? Here's a really simple definition of sex addiction. If you're engaging in sexual behavior over and over again, despite real consequences, wasting time, feeling like a piece of garbage, watching it at work, in public, it's sucking the life out of you, you're lying to a partner and you keep doing it, and you hate it, and you hide it, and you feel shame about it, and yet you do it again, that's sex addiction or unhealthy sexuality. And for almost all of you listening to this video right now, it is not about sex. I've been treating men for 13 years, and I have never worked with a client whose primary problem had anything to do with sex. The behavior, the acting out is always the symptom of deeper underlying issues. It's about escaping, avoiding, numbing out, an inability to express needs, lack of purpose, shame, poor coping strategies, getting that puff of dopamine when life feels overwhelming and empty. I need to tell you about the sex addiction controversy, and you may not know this. Sex addiction is a very, very controversial diagnosis. The American Psychiatric Association, after 5 years of research and field trials, rejected the sex addiction model for inclusion in the DSM. The World Health Organization also rejected sex and porn addiction, and here's what they called it: compulsive sexual behavior disorder, and it is a process disorder, not an addiction, and that matters from a treatment perspective. And the American Association of Sexuality Educators, Counselors, and Therapists, the oldest and highest educated group of sexuality professionals, they outright reject it, saying it does not find that the sexual addiction training and treatment methods and educational philosophies to be adequately informed by accurate human sexuality knowledge. Well, goodness gracious, did you know that? Have you been in treatment for a long time and did not know anything about that controversy? I learned it after almost 2 decades of traditional sex addiction and 12-step treatment, huh? What? Maybe there's something else out there that isn't so symptom-centric, right? So let's call it what it really is: a compulsive, destructive pattern of behavior that ruins lives and relationships. Whatever you call it, if it's wrecking your world, it matters. Now, what are the 3 signs of sex addiction, the 3 red flags? Number 1, you can't stop. You've made promises, you've sworn it off, but you keep going back. Now listen, that's not weakness. Remember I told you this started in childhood and the wiring? You have a systems problem. We do not rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our symptoms. Sex addiction symptom number 2, you feel like crap about it. guilt, shame, emptiness. When you reflect on what you were watching, what you were doing, where you were doing it, you feel horrible about yourself. You feel like there's different parts of you. You have a part that wants to do better, that would throw himself in a car to protect his wife and his children, who works hard for his family. And then you've got this other part, this addict part that hijacks agency and control in response to very specific external stimuli. It takes over, and that internal war is exhausting. The good news is there's something you can do about it. Sex addiction symptom and sign number 3, you lie and hide. And you don't have to be in a relationship to be lying and hiding. So we work with single people too. You delete messages, you clear your history, you keep secrets, you're not honest. You may not be overt lying, but you're not being honest about something that you believe deep in your soul is very important to your partner. And regarding that, deep down inside, you know, despite all the rationalizations, all the justifications, whatever narrative you use to justify the behavior, deep down inside, you knew, if she saw what you were looking at and who you were objectifying and what you were doing, she would be devastated. Devastated. And you having that knowledge, listen, it's okay, that's empathy. You can build on it, but that knowledge is eating you alive. Where does it come from? And it is absolutely not about willpower. Here's what the science says. Let me just break it down for you easy. First, as a man, we're wired for variety. And we are wired to be more visually stimulated. And using sex, porn, masturbation to escape discomfort started in childhood. And the behavior just didn't start in childhood. The lying and the hiding it started in childhood. And on top of that, many men with these patterns have childhood issues, attachment issues, trauma, shame, or what I like to call an intimacy disorder. There's always an input that creates the output. So if you're lying, compartmentalizing, you've got different parts of you, your wife is consistently telling you lack empathy, you have poor coping strategies, you have low self-esteem. We use this powerful force to feel better about ourselves, to deal with stress, anxiety, and fear, and feeling worthless, and not being good enough. Sex is very effective short-term. It does help you numb, cope, and escape. And if you think of how often you have done it and how often you've done it in secret, calculate your frequency. I've had some clients get to the tens of thousands, and don't feel bad about that. Accept that reality and say, okay, I need to take some serious action because I know what wires together fires together, so I have to do something else. I've got to counterbalance that biological, psychological, evolutionary drive to numb, cope, and escape. And last but not least, we're not wired for this. Men, technology, the ease and how easy it is to find porn, anything you want, to get more deviant, to get dark, to find sugar babies, to have an AI girlfriend, to talk to strangers, to exchange nude pictures, to download an app. You must create a healthy relationship with technology and recognize that these devices are killing us. And in the new definition of masculinity, you're in control. You own it. It doesn't own you. You have to change your relationship with technology. So 5, what do you do about it? If you're stuck in this loop, what can you do to break free? Number 1, you need to build a smarter system. You need to take care of yourself. You need distress tolerance skills so you can be in control. You have to practice mindfulness. You need community and connection. You need accountability. You need purpose. You need to prioritize what's important. You need to manage risk. You need identity change, the deepest level of change. The deepest level of change is I don't do that anymore. I don't poison my body, my family, my relationship with shit that is making me feel worse about myself. I do not sabotage. That's the cure. The cure, because this is such a difficult problem to solve, is the aggressive pursuit of a great life. here's the good news. You can use this moment, right? You don't have to get lower and lower, whether it's with me or whether it's with someone else, whoever you pick. You can use this crisis, the crisis of discovery and devastating your partner, as a crucible moment, as the pivot, as the linchpin to do what you need to do to control yourself. And the problem is, controlling yourself is really, really, really hard. So the cure is the aggressive pursuit of a great life. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos like this. And if you are ready to break the cycle, schedule a free call with me, not an assistant, but with me, at mindfulhabithelp.com. Let's go!